Hello there! Recent months haven't been exactly fruitful when it comes to new narrative-driven double or AAA products, but finally, after a long wait, 2K Games has released a new incarnation of Mafia, transporting us to early 20th century Sicily, the very foundations of this crime association following their own code of honor. Welcome to Mafia, the Old Country, Credible Review. Our trip to Sicily begins in the mines, where we take control of Enzo, a carusu, a boy stripped of any privilege other than a loaf of bread, quite literally. Things quickly get out of hand, as they often do, setting our new career path in motion, a murdering vagabond specialized in extortion and discreet assassinations. The story in Mafia the Old Country offers a pleasant experience, though often predictable and not very innovative. It feels as if 2K Games wanted to play it safe and just deliver a decent and acceptable new iteration of Mafia, and without a shade of doubt they succeeded. Nevertheless, the very first Mafia will still remain for me the best ever released by that developer. Now back to Sicily and our new protagonist. Like most Mafia games, this one offers a very linear narrative experience. Even if you try to make your own choices, the game constantly reminds you that you're on a predestined path. You do what you're told. The only way to truly free roam the beautiful landscapes of Sicily without the main plot breathing down your neck is to choose a separate mode from the main menu. But as always with Mafia games, the free roam mode feels empty and bland compared to Red Dead Redemption or GTA. Those games fill downtime with random encounters that can start new quests or missions. Unfortunately, this isn't the case in Mafia. There are no side quests or side activities that break up the main story, and I wouldn't really count collectibles as side activities either. Sorry, I'm just not into spending 10 extra hours collecting 50 mysterious foxes. Speaking of hours, the game offers about 12 hours of solid story with some repetitive gameplay, which we'll get to shortly. The price tag won't drain your wallet, and overall it's pretty average for a game aspiring to be a AAA. That said, the developers did a good job with voice acting and emotional delivery. They had to, considering the emphasis on narrative. We've reached a point where Unreal Engine 5 sets a basic standard of realism and authenticity. And with those two words, we finally reach graphics and performance category. And as I said before, Unreal Engine 5 makes most modern games look gorgeous. The landscapes of 20th century Sicily are joyful and calming to behold. Running on maximum settings, the game offers a smooth, uninterrupted experience for the full playthrough. And across those 12 hours of crime and reckless driving, I didn't encounter a single crash or graphical glitch. To sum it up in one sentence, the graphics in Mafia the Old Country are more than decent, though not extraordinary. Nothing other developers couldn't achieve with Unreal Engine 5, it's simply okay by today's standards. I may not have a lot to say about graphics, but gameplay and mechanics will have more things to discuss. And now we get into the repetitive side of things. But before that though, I want to highlight one standout feature, live duels. At certain climactic points, you duel opponents with knives, and these fights involve parrying, dodging, light and heavy attacks, plus occasional button mashing to overpower your enemy. They're easy to master, and after 2 or 3 you'll realize there isn't much more to learn, but they do add a refreshing twist. There's of course a racing with high-performance vehicles, which brings me back to my childhood memories and the frustrations that come with that one race Mafia fans know very well. For those who don't know, the very first Mafia had a similar race that took a long time to finish, where one mistake could result in other contestants overtaking you with ease. Luckily, the game now offers checkpoints even during a car races, so this time you don't end up smashing your keyboard. Vehicles in Mafia the Old Country have a big tendency to oversteer, which is understandable considering the gravel roads and the lack of concrete. While horses can't really give you a drift mode, they still remain a viable option for travel. Some missions involve chasing down your opponent, so naturally both options allow you to shoot while driving a car or riding a horse. I vividly recall one mission where you shoot from the back of the truck, clearly reminiscent of GTA San Andreas. Sadly, beyond such references, 2K Studio hasn't offered much new in gameplay. The majority of missions are things gamers have seen countless times. Stealth deserves its own mention, though not for good reasons. Everything is laid out too conveniently. Glass bottles, crates, patrol routes, all placed right in front of you. There's no need to plan or think, making stealth dull and overly simple. One thing I noticed that still completely baffles me to this day is the fact that when you choke an enemy, it leaves a puddle of blood on the ground, and it's not one-off case. Every enemy you incapacitate is in fact dead and doesn't let out a single breath of air. You might as well stick to your knife because the end result is exactly the same. Or you could simply rush in with a rifle or a shotgun and put some bullets into people's heads. That also works, and remains a very satisfying way of eradicating vicious bandits and other Mafia members. Just be careful though, some missions do require mandatory stealth. It's worth mentioning certain charms provide combat boosts, like improved shooting, so I recommend picking up all the religious statues along the way. As for other mechanics like wardrobe and outfit design, they're self-explanatory and don't need much detail here. In terms of game mechanics and gameplay, that would be everything that comes to my mind, so without further ado, we can finally transition to the summary. Mafia: The Old Country turned out to be a pleasant surprise after the average third installment of the franchise. The story is interesting, the characters colorful, and the dialogue sharp and lively. Story-wise, the game delivers solid dose of entertainment with an emotional finale that sticks into your mind. Gameplay-wise, however, it's average at best. The stealth is basic, the shooting is basic, the driving is fine. Nothing horrible, but nothing thrilling either. At the end of the day, it's a pleasant Sunday morning kind of game. 12 hours of linear story for a fair price. Yes, there are references to previous installments, but nostalgia alone isn't enough to earn a top score. All things considered, Mafia: The Old Country deserves a solid 7 out of 10 for its memorable characters: Don Turisi, Enzo, Isabella, Luca, Cesare. I enjoyed every one of them. Unfortunately, just as Atlas holds the world on his shoulders, so does the story carry Mafia's review score. And that would be everything I have for you today. I bid you a good day, and farewell for now.